Bonjour, mes amis, and welcome to Gourmet Cooking. We're going to do some fun meal tonight. We're going to do a meal full of surprises. The first dish is called brochette surprise, or mushroom surprise. Then we're going to take some nice pork chops and make a wonderful orange sauce. So we have pork à l'orange. That's a surprise also. And then we're going to take some potatoes and stuff those with the filling and some egg whites, and hopefully we'll get a nice little souffle or potato souffle. All three dishes being a surprise. So we're going to proceed with those, but for those of you that are interested, the recipes for the show today the recipes are on page 26 and 27 of Volume 3 of Gourmet Cooking. All right, so we need to go right away with the potatoes because they need about 15 minutes in the oven after we've stuffed them. So let's go to the oven now and retrieve some potatoes that we've been baking. Now, we've baked these potatoes for an hour and a half at 350, 375. As you can see, I've already prepared most of them, but we've saved one or two, and it's still hot. We've saved one, rather. We want to cut the potato in half, and then we want to scoop out the pulp. So we'll add that to the pulp that I already have from these potatoes. In this bowl, we'll take a potato and a hot pad and a little spoon, and we'll scoop it out, and we're going to use our ricer to mash the potato. Gives a nice fine grain. You can see the potato's nice and hot, and it's also very soft. It baked just beautifully. Now, we get that into, we'll put the skin over there, do the second one, second half that is, and we'll have some potato to put through our ricer. Then we're going to combine some ingredients to this and then stuff these potato shells and put those back into the oven again. All right, I think we have a little too many. I'm going to put that one aside. We then squeeze the potato through the ricer, and it's a quick way and a perfect way to make mashed potatoes or to rice your potatoes. There's a piece I missed. We'll put the ricer aside. It's no longer needed. Now, we're going to add to this 2 egg yolks, some butter, all right, we have some butter, salt and pepper, whoops, a little bit of pepper there. Then we're going to need to add, this is an interesting ingredient. This is part of the surprise. We have an apple, which we want now to peel, and we're going to grate this apple right into the potato. Now, I would have peeled this before we started the show, but the potato would turn an awful brown and black color. So we take a little bit of time here to peel this apple, and then we take our grater and we're going to grate 1 apple into these 4 potatoes, which gives us 8 halves, along with the butter, the egg, and then we have another seasoning. It's going to be a little bit of sage. All right, we've grated our apple. Put this aside and go to our rubbed sage. We want about a half teaspoon, bottle's quite full, about a half teaspoon of the sage. Mixing all that together. So that the butter melts, the egg incorporates along with the seasonings and that interesting ingredient, that grated apple. So once we have mixed all this together, we now have our filling, which needs to go into our potatoes, except for one critical ingredient. Now, as we open the show, I was whipping some egg whites. We have 2 egg whites here. So we whip those until they come to soft peaks, taking our whipped potato. We want then to fold the potato, or rather the egg whites, into the potato, which will lighten them nicely, and hopefully will give a little rise to the potato when we put them into a very hot oven. Now, they'll need to go in the oven for 15 minutes, and they should be ready about the time we are. We have 2 other dishes to go through yet, though, so let's stuff these potatoes as quickly as we can. Taking a nice scoopful, we'll put our potato, fill our shells, rather, with this flavorful mixture, and put those into a very hot oven. It's 450 degrees, and I have the oven already preheated, and for 15 minutes, and that will give us our nice pomme de terre soufflé. All right. I'm rushing a little bit because we've got a good bit to do. Take your time and shape these nicely, but they'll still taste wonderful. All right, 1 or 2 more to go, just 2 more to go. I want 8 halves because this dinner is for 8 tonight, but it seems like I've got an extra potato shell and enough to fill it, so we might as well. There may be someone who would like a little extra potato, and we'll have it. All right, putting this aside, we want now to go to our oven. This is our 450-degree oven. We'll put our potatoes, and they should be ready at the end of our show. Clearing up a little bit. We now want to go to our mushrooms. That's another interesting surprise. We take 2 nice mushrooms of the same size. Now, we've prepared most of these, but we want to do 1 or 2 on camera. So we take 2 mushrooms, about the same size, take the stem out, and mix together. I think I really need this bowl. All right, I need a spoon is what I need. Go into my trusty drawer. We'll get a nice spoon. We're going to add to that butter, putting that into a little bowl where I can mix. We're going to take 2 cloves of garlic, and we want to crush those and then chop them. All right, we partially chopped the garlic, but we also need some parsley. So we're going to chop it all together because it's all going to blend in with the butter, making an herb butter, which will be a stuffing for our mushrooms. So chopping our parsley and garlic. We want to mix that now with our softened butter. And a little bit of salt and pepper. A little salt and a little pepper. Now, we've prepared most of these ahead, so because it takes so much time, because they also have to refrigerate for an hour before cooking. So we've now taken our little butter and made an herb butter. We want then to stuff the 2 halves of the mushroom. And put that aside. Join the 2 together. A little too much, so we'll just remove that. And then join that with a toothpick. Now, after you've done 15 or 16 or 18 or as many as you want, you then take some beaten egg and some seasoned breadcrumbs. We then dip the mushroom in the egg. We roll in the breadcrumbs, coating it real well. And we do that twice, back into the egg and then into the breadcrumb. And we have now coated our little mushroom surprise. We'll add that to the ones we already have and place those in the refrigerator. So they'll chill, and we'll come back to that when we're ready to deep fry them. Well, placing our mushrooms aside, we want then to clean up the board again and go to our pork chops. Now, I want to turn the heat on. I have some butter and 2 tablespoons rather of oil mixed with the butter. As you know, we often do that. Butter burns at a very low temperature. By adding the oil, you raise the temperature at which the butter will burn, so to give us a nice frying medium. Well, we have some nice pork chops. As you can see, these are really beautiful, the filet. We've cleaned these. We want these absolutely free of fat, so we cut off this edge. There's also a little thin piece of membrane that's rather tough. We want that removed. So we take that pork chop, and we're going to add the others to this tray simply as a work medium. Now, so we have some nice pork chops. We want to salt and pepper those. Now, while we're at this point, let's salt them too. Let's stop a moment, though, and go to our oil here. We have about 2 inches of oil in this deep skillet. That's going to be used to fry the mushrooms. Now, I want to bring that up to heat so that they'll deep fry. And we've had it warming, but now I want to turn it up to heat so it'll be ready when we are. Now, coming back to the pork chops, we want to lightly flour these chops, or dust them as it is called, not heavily. You could turn these over and salt and pepper the other side, just depending on your taste. Salt, yeah. And we lightly dust our chops. Now, the oil is coming up to heat. As soon as it's there, we'll fry these pork chops and then make a very wonderful orange sauce to go with it. In the meantime, while we're waiting, I think we'll retrieve our mushrooms and see if that oil is hot enough. If not, we'll wait a few moments and come back to those. So our butter is melting, coming up to heat. Our oil is getting hot. Let me turn it even hotter. Let's go to the refrigerator and retrieve our mushrooms. As you can see, I've prepared quite a few. The oil is probably not quite hot enough yet. Let's check it. Just about. So we'll be able to fry those mushrooms and put those aside as soon as this butter comes up. So let's start with our mushrooms and see how far we can go. Placing our mushrooms into the hot oil. It takes maybe 3 minutes for these to brown, for the mushrooms to cook, and for that beautiful herbed butter in the center to melt and flavor the mushrooms. Let's see if we have any more room. You can't have too many of these. Believe me, they will disappear. But I'm afraid there's not enough space for that one that we have left over. But have no fear, it will be eaten later. Our butter is just about coming up. Let's place the chops in the butter. And let those now, as soon as that oil gets really hot, they'll cook real nicely. In the meantime, we've got our chops beginning to go, and we have our mushrooms just about finished. Now, we're going to make a sauce out of the drippings and some orange juice and some orange zest. So let's do a little zest. We've done most of it, but I like to illustrate that. We take our zester and take off just the orange portion of the peel. It has all the flavor, none of the bitterness. The white part underneath that is what is bitter and will give your dish a bad taste. But by taking the zest off of an orange, you need a whole one. We've already got much done already, so I'm not going to do them all. And then you want to chop your zest. And these will be the flavorings for a wonderful sauce to go with the pork chops. I think our mushrooms might be ready to come out of the oil. So we'll put the zest with the other that I've done before, and then we'll come back to that in a moment to make the sauce as soon as our chops have come up. Now, let's check these. They're about done. Actually, they could use a moment or two longer. So, we have a few moments here. Let's do a little fun things. Let's take an orange, and let's peel this orange in such a way that the skin stays attached. And you can see with a reasonably sharp knife, simply by running the knife on an angle around the orange, you remove the skin and expose the wonderful flesh. These are wonderful, flavorful oranges. They happen to be Florida oranges. And what we're after here is one continuous piece of orange peel. Now, we're going to take this and, don't need that little piece, rewind this just as it came off the orange. I'm sure many of you have seen this before. And when we do, we'll have an interesting garnish for our dish. And we have now a nice orange rose. And we'll put that on our dish when it's ready. Now, let's go to the chops. They need to cook a little more. I'm afraid I'm going to run out of time on this, so we're probably going to undercook these chops. But you would normally cook them to the doneness that you like. I personally like mine not exactly rare, but I don't like them overcooked or just dried out. However, we may have a little undercooked chops today, although we've got a few minutes. I think now our mushrooms can come out. Oh, they're beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Let's put those on this platter. We're going to take those out and put those, let them drain a little bit, and put those onto our nice serving platter. When you prepare these, you better have a second batch ready to go because they're going to be in great demand. wonderful, wonderful surprise. All right, turning that fire off. You can see we have our wonderful little mushroom surprises. We arrange those on a platter, and we'll put those out there ready for our final serving. Now, as I said, these chops could cook a little longer, but in order to finish the show, we best take them out. They're about done. In fact, they're to my taste, but we put them on this serving platter. They're going to go back into the sauce for a few moments. So we have in our skillet now the butter that we used for drippings. We want to add the orange zest and orange juice, a little salt and pepper, a little salt, a little pepper. That's salt again. Have too many of these out here. A little pepper. And we'll stir that around. It kind of deglazes the pan. We take any brown parts that have stuck to the bottom. That's a wonderful flavor. And to that, we're going to add a half cup of heavy cream. Now, we want to bring that to a boil. That will thicken and give us that wonderful flavor, the orange in a nice cream sauce with the butter and some of the drippings from the pork. Wonderful flavor. Let's get that up to a little heat, to almost boiling, and we will then slide our chops back into the skillet. Let those reheat a little bit in that nice sauce. We'll then put those onto our platter. In the meantime, let's go to our oven and see what our potatoes have done. Well, they've done fairly well. They didn't puff up as much as we like, but they still will have a wonderful flavor. So, taking our potatoes, we'll place those on our skillet, on our nice serving platter. They puffed a fair amount, but they're nice and tender and fluffy. Be a great accompaniment to the pork chops. Now let's take our pork chops and place those on our platter. Arranging them in whatever design you might like, helter-skelter, or sort of spoke-like around the platter. And then we're going to add the sauce to this. One more chop. And we add this beautiful sauce. Our orange sauce, cream, orange, the orange zest, wonderful flavor. That'll go very well with our potatoes. And we're going to garnish this dish. First of all, we'll take that nice rose that we made and place that in the middle. And we'll take some nice orange segments and place one on top of each chop. And a final garnish, we'll use these orange slices that we had on our dish to open the show. And it gives it a colorful, festive, and it tells you how wonderful the taste will be. So now we've prepared our mushroom surprises, our potato souffle, our orange flavored sauce on our pork chops, interesting. I think you'll agree. These are all surprises. Pork and fruit together, excellent, but it's a wonderful sauce. It's a surprise. The potatoes, a surprise. The stuffing with the apple and the sage. And then the wonderful mushrooms. Now, I'm going to bring these into the dining room. I'll see you there after we show you some of the recipes. Well, now for our meal of surprises. We have our mushroom surprises with all that wonderful flavor inside the mushrooms, deep fried and crispy. And then we have, of course, our pork chops with the nice orange flavored sauce, really delicious. Along with the potatoes and their nice skins. They really are going to be nice and crispy and soft and velvety. Good combination. But first of all, let's try one of the surprises, especially the mushrooms. So we're going to take one mushroom, put it on our little plate here, and cutting down right next to the toothpick, we're going to see what's inside and what the big surprise is. There we have all the nice juices from the mushroom, the butter, the garlic, the parsley, and oh, is it delicious and smells fragrant. A little French bread is going to pick up that extra sauce that's there. And then after this, we're going to take a nice pork chop, potato, and some of the wonderful orange-flavored sauce. A little sautéed spinach would be a good accompaniment to the pork chops. And as always, on Gourmet Cooking, a little white wine will be consumed to really round out the flavors for this very interesting meal. We're going to enjoy it. We hope you will too. A bientôt.
La douceur du temps nous fait des avances. Partez mes enfants, vous avez 20 ans, partez en vacances. Vous verrez agiles sur l'onde tranquille, les barques dociles au bras des amants, de fraîches guinguettes, des filles bien faites, les